So for the tie and dye technique, I have taken this muslin cotton cloth. Any thin cloth will be fine, or any cotton cloth takes the color well. You need to wet the cloth completely, but make sure that it is not dripping. Alright, so squeeze out the water properly. So for our first fold, we will pinch in the center and start turning it like this. So press from above and keep on turning like it forms spirals. Keep on pressing, keep on turning, and adjust the leftover cloth in spirals. Once done, make sure that you tighten it even more. You can tie this up nicely with rubber bands, but make sure that the rubber band is really tight. Okay, so make 2 or 3 folds of the rubber band if it's a bigger one. Make a plus sign, make sure that you take in all the cloth inside. So this is divided in 4 parts now. And then add 2 more rubber bands as if it forms a cross sign. So basically what we are doing is we are trying to make 8 parts out of this. And once this is done, your first fold is ready. Moving on to the second fold, the same way. Wet it, squeeze the water out. Again, pinch from the center and pick up the cloth like this. Alright, so we have a long, like that dog and the bone game thing. And start tying it. This time I'm showing it with a jute thread. Now you can use a white cotton thread as well. Don't use any colored thread, as we don't know if it bleeds into the cotton cloth. So you can use a white cotton thread, or a jute thread is also perfectly fine. It works great with me. And keep on tying like this with regular intervals. Don't think much about exact distance and all that. It's fine. Just keep on tying. Make sure it is firm. 1 knot is also enough. That's it. Do this till the end of the cloth. Of course, you can use rubber bands here like you did in the previous one. I'm just showing it to you so that you understand how to do it with the thread as well. And that's it. So once this is done, your second fold is also ready. So the third fold is quite easy and quite fun. Just spread it, the wet cloth, and crumple it like this. Hold it together and tie it with 1 or 2 rubber bands. That's all. So this is like the messy fold, and it's done. The fourth fold is a bit attention consuming one. So spread your cloth, wet cloth, and fold it in fan folds, as if you're making a fan. So one ahead, like the pleats of the sari, or this is called a fan fold. So 1 on front, 1 behind. Keep on pressing on every layer so that it remains firm. Next, start folding into 90-degree triangles like this. Again as a fan fold. So 1 behind, another 1 in front, then behind, then in front. Right? So you'll have these, such kind of triangle. Fold the extra part, that's okay. Arrange it nicely. And now we will be adding a rubber band in the center, but the rubber band will be very small. So you can use some ice cream stick. For me, ice cream stick was too big, so I used a simple pencil. So that's also easy. Just hold 2 pencils like that and secure it firmly with rubber bands. That's it. Your fourth fold is ready. The fifth fold is also something similar. Fan fold first, and then 90-degree triangle folds. The only thing different here is, instead of putting the pencils like standing, we'll be using it horizontally. So different way of where you are tying, or where you are putting your ice cream sticks, or where you are using like pencil. In this case I'm going to use, I think, brush, because I need a longer one. It depends where you are stopping the color to flow, that the design will be created accordingly. So if you need something else, anything can be used, okay? Don't stress over that it should be a clip or it should be an ice cream stick. No, that is fine. Alright, just tie it. As far as you secure it nicely, all cool. So let's say once this is done, our 5 folds are ready. Make sure you put a plastic sheet below if you all are a neatness freak person. So our 5 folds are ready. The first one, the second one, right, the third random one, the fourth triangle with straight and with horizontal folds. Let us start coloring. So I'm going to use alcohol ink and isopropyl alcohol. I'm going to use fabric paints and neon acrylic paints as well. So let's say in the first one I'll use fabric color. Make sure your brush is really wet, okay, and see how I'm using the brush. Alright, so you have to dab it, you don't have to make strokes. Fine, why we are dabbing? Keep on dipping in water and keep on dabbing it the color so that the color penetrates into the threads of the cloth. Make sure that you lift up every layer, and wherever there is white space, apply color and dab with water. Make sure that everything is colored nicely, each and every thread is colored nicely. Don't forget to turn around and paint there as well. Again, once the painting is done, once you apply the color, make sure that you dab with water, excess water. Wash your brush and take another color. Again, you'll see that if you just spread the color like this, it might not go on all the layers. So it is necessary that once you spread the color, you wet your brush and you dab your brush very nicely. This I am talking when you are using fabric paints. Okay, so fabric paints are already thin, so it will be easy for them to penetrate through the cloth. But keep on adding water so that it spreads evenly. That's the main idea of doing this. While you're actually dyeing in in the real way, we are doing this as a hobby tie and dye. When they really in a professional way, when they tie and dye, they don't use fabric paints as such. They use these organic dyes. So it's like they tie their different knots or tie in different ways, and they put it into boiling water where which is cooled, and basically the organic dye is boiled into this water and it is cooled. So that's a total different process. We are doing it as a hobby, and so we are trying to make it simple and cost effective, of course. So in this case, as you see, I am using neon paints. Now this neon paints are acrylic paints. So acrylic paints generally don't work well on fabric. But why neon acrylic paints are working is because they are a bit translucent. So they are already thin. Alright. Other paints are not that translucent, but neon paints are. And it works well on fabric as well. So this is like I have tried and tested. So it can be used on fabric. Again, use the dabbing technique. Don't forget that. Don't forget to keep your brush wet. Make sure you have a rough tissue or a rough cloth to keep on cleaning your platform or your base as well. Otherwise, it will just go ahead on the other part also. I love the combination of these neon colors. They are like, they look really bright and vibrant and very beautiful. It's always like a hopeful thing that that excitement always remains, that will it turn out good, will it turn out perfect. In shibori or in any tie and dye method, that's the fun part of it. That's the therapeutic part of it, that these kind of artworks are used for art therapy. Why? Because they are not supposed to be perfect, they're supposed to be random. And the fun part is to make these random things look beautiful. So we are tying it in such a way that even the random ones creates patterns, and the beautiful colors will always make it exciting and happy. So don't keep hopes on that it will come out perfect. Make sure you enjoy the process, because the process of the tie and dye is what gives you the best effect, right? So the third one, I am taking blue color only, just so that it looks like a bit of indigo dye. Again, in the third one, you don't have to open the layers and put inside. Just cover the surface which is visible on the top, so that the ones which are there inside remains white, and this will come out as a random spotted print. Let's do the next one. This is a bit tricky as it's small and it has 8 parts to be painted. So I'm going to use the blue fabric paint and maybe the orange neon paint alternately. Fine. So make sure that you hold this nicely or take time to dry and then again do, because there are chances that you might overlap the color here and there. Even if it does happen, don't panic, it's okay. It is going to look good once you open it. It's fine. All right. So hold that blue color part in your one hand and then paint in the alternate ones. Again, make sure you add lots of water in this so that the color penetrates inside. So this will come out as a spiral thing. The more water you add, the more spiral it will come. Now I'm not going to add more water because I want to show that what will happen if you don't add more of water, if the color does not penetrate in well. Because I want to show the difference basically, that if you are adding more water and the color is penetrating well inside, it will form more of spirals. Otherwise it will form a darker to a lighter shade. You will see when we open this. Just for now, I am trying to tell you is add lots of water so that it penetrates inside. Another great idea of dyeing such kind of designs where it penetrates inside well is by using alcohol ink. Why? I'll explain. I'm taking this orange alcohol ink. Right now it's not looking orange because it's really concentrated. So once I add isopropyl alcohol, you'll see that it's orange. Again, the amount of isopropyl alcohol will be depending on how much light you want the dye to be. So I wanted this shade, so I added my isopropyl alcohol accordingly. Be quick in this step because otherwise it will evaporate and you'll have to use more isopropyl alcohol again. So when you do it with an alcohol ink, you will see that it spreads real fast and easily, and because of the isopropyl alcohol and the wet cloth, the ink goes literally in each and every part of the cloth. That's the reason I prefer alcohol inks in such designs where you need to allow the dye or the color to spread a lot. So here we go. Our 5 folds are ready. Please allow it to dry completely and don't be impatient. I am a bit impatient. I couldn't wait, and this is the most toughest part for me, waiting for it to dry. So I used my hair dryer and I dried it up. Please don't do that. I mean, it's okay if you do that, but make sure you use lots of patience here. And you would see that my tiles have also turned orange just because I didn't allow it to dry. But anyways, make sure to use plastic sheets, clean plastic sheets below. So I'm just opening all these up. You can simply cut it off again if you don't have patience. If you have, Reknot it nicely. So this is the alcohol ink one which we did. This is my favorite. This dries up quickly as well. That's the reason I prefer alcohol ink for dyeing. But in such neat designs, I prefer fabric paints. Whether, I need like proper squares and stuffs like that. Look at this. So this is where we use the pencil straight. Now if you see the difference in this, we have alternate colored squares, right? And in the previous one, we had 1-in-1 square. So that's the difference. This is the spiral thing that I wanted to show you. So in this you'll see that since the color has not penetrated inside, the inner spirals are light while the outer spirals are dark. Okay, so that is what you need to be keep in mind. And the last one, the random one, my favorite one. This can never go wrong because there is nothing wrong in this. I hope you enjoyed these 5 patterns. There are many more folds, and you can always try and test a few by yourself. Something is going to turn out beautiful for sure. Make sure to follow my reels, because apart from these 5, I will be keep on posting short reels. The way in which you do is the same, only the folds will be different. So I'll just cut down those reels to 30-second videos as far as possible, and keep on trying, keep on using it for different stuffs. And also feel free to ask any questions if you have in the comment box, or maybe on my WhatsApp, business WhatsApp. Do share what you make, how you have used this with me. Keep on following this page. I'll be sharing more ideas with you all. Also, if you want to understand the therapeutic effect, follow my speaking brush therapy page as well. So on that page, I try to explain how making these artworks, specific artworks, has a specific kind of effect on human brain psychologically. And it's like a neuroaesthetic studies that we do. It might be fun for you and your loved ones. That's all for now. Thank you so much. See you around.